We're learning more about that deadly plane crash owned by Motley Crue vocalist Vince Neil that claimed the life of the pilot, and how that pilot may have saved the other occupants of the plane. There is a new interview with his daughter speaking about the situation. Now, initially, there were questions as to whether or not Vince Neil was on board. We learned later that his girlfriend was on board and she was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries from the situation, as was her friend. Fortunately, they did survive, and we're learning more about this situation. Now, preliminary indicators seem to point to this being an equipment failure, with the landing gear apparently suffering some sort of a malfunction on landing. And as it's coming in at a high rate of speed, it then veers to the left as a result of that issue, causing a direct collision with a parked jet. This is what we now know about this tragic situation. As reports emerged on Monday about a private jet crash in Arizona, word started going around that the plane was owned by Motley Crue vocalist Vince Neil. Questions began circulating about whether or not the vocalist was on board, and a short time later, Motley Crue released a statement about the incident, which said, at 2:39 p.m. local time, a Learjet aircraft model 35A, owned by Vince Neil, was attempting to land at the Scottsdale airport. For reasons unknown at this time, the plane veered from the runway, causing it to collide with another parked plane. On board Mr. Neil's plane were 2 pilots and 2 passengers. Mr. Neil was not on the plane. More specific details regarding the collision are not available, as this is a rapidly evolving situation and there's an ongoing investigation. Mr. Neil's thoughts and prayers go out to everyone involved, and he's grateful for the critical aid of all first responders assisting today. Vince Neil and his girlfriend had been celebrating his birthday down in Florida, as his birthday was on February 8th, though his girlfriend Rain flew out to Scottsdale for the Royal Crown Barrel Race competition as Vince Neil stayed behind. Reports say that Vince Neil wanted to enjoy the beach for a few more days before his flight a couple days later on Thursday. And as new details are emerging about this tragedy, we've learned more about the pilot who tragically lost his life in the incident. The pilot was a Marine Corps veteran, Joey Vitosky, 78 years old. He was also a certified flight engineer dating back to 1978. His daughter Jana spoke to the Arizona Republic about the heartbreaking situation. She told him that her dad had been flying for about 60 years, first beginning his career as a helicopter pilot for the Marine Corps. Jana told the outlet that she believes her father saved the other passengers on board the plane in the horrific incident. She told them, "I honestly, wholeheartedly believe that the reason those other passengers are alive, it's because of how he handled it yesterday." She told them, "It's a lot of stuff that can happen on a private plane. A lot of rich people, but he had a lot of people who needed something immediate." She said she even got to fly with their dad sometimes. She said, "We've all grown up going on trips with my dad when we were able to, when there was a seat available in the plane, and the passengers didn't mind us going." And despite the pilot being about 78 years of age, she said he was in exceptional health. She said, like, nothing wrong. His vision was perfect, better than 20/20 vision. And this incident is unfortunately the latest in a number of troubling aviation incidents, including that crash in Washington, D.C. that claimed the lives of 70. Now, we're sending our condolences out to the family of this pilot in this heartbreaking situation. That's your latest update here from Rockfeed. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for the latest news and updates.